to the Board and D podcast, and now with your hosts, Uncle Tuck and G-Jones. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Board and D's podcast. Tonight we have a good friend of mine, Chantel from Shaping Minds. Chantel, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hello. So I am Chantel, the CEO of Shaping Minds Therapeutic Services, where we are a minority-based outpatient mental health practice.
Oh, how long y'all been in business?
We've been in business in January to be 3 years, but we have expanded in the last year because of COVID, where it was just me at first, and now I think the team, there's about 10 to 12 of us now.
Okay, congratulations. And this is your company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what's up. So all them years of schooling and stuff like that, okay, go ahead and get that education put to use.
Yeah, I gotta pay them student loans off, all that debt.
Man. Well, I'm proud of you because I was there from the beginning. I remember all this. I remember the struggle and the schooling and dealing with Jazier and everything and life and everything. You threw all down your back and you handle it. So you're a big homie over here. Proud of you. I know I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to.
With all that, like, what was the cornerstone that pushed you through?
Yeah, it's funny. I had this conversation earlier. What pushed me to this point was being in jobs where I kept being mistreated. So it got to the point where it was like, if you're going to be treated right in this field, you got to have your own. And then having people working under me, I was like, we got to have a safe place for us to work. How is it that we're doing therapy with people and we don't even feel safe? Like, that makes no sense.
Wow.
So that's what pushed me. A lot of times with us, we don't get pushed until we feel completely uncomfortable.
Trust, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, G-, I think we both know that feeling.
Right. Being conditioned to make do. Talk about it.
Right. Yes, we gotta move quicker, but you know how that goes.
So Dan, where did the name Shaping Minds come from now? What gave you that name?
I don't know. I came up with that name probably this was about 8 years ago. And I was sitting in the office at one of my jobs that I had, and I was talking to another therapist, and we were saying that we wanted to start our own practice one day. And I was trying to think of a name that when you hear it, it makes you want to ask questions. Mm-hmm. Right. And I was like, I needed to stand out. I needed to be like, that sounds like a place that I want to go to. And so I'm like, as therapists, I'm like, we're not really changing anything. That's, but we're shaping your thought process. We're shaping your behaviors. Like we're trying to help what's already there. We're just trying to help mold it. And so, yeah, that popped into my head, and I kept it in a little composition book. And when it was time to open it, that's what I went with.
Yeah, because I'm checking out your site and I see that, you guys, you handle family therapy, individual therapy, couples therapy, and group therapy. Mm-hmm. Everything. And it looks like as far as the common concerns, looks like you cover a lot of things that I know us in the Black community really need to, seek out and get help for, instead of trying to handle everything ourselves. I see you got relationships, loss and grief, anxiety, depression. You even handle gay and lesbian issues. You got stress mm-hmm. management, divorce, separation, women's issues, parenting, life transitions, finding balance, family problems, work stress, and substance abuse.
Yep, trauma. That's the biggest thing. Trauma. All the different traumas that we deal with. And it's minority based, but we don't just see minority clients.
Okay.
But it was just a lot of times we'll get phone calls, and when we say that all of our therapists are Black, like, people are impressed because it's hard enough to find one therapist that's Black, let alone a whole practice full of Black therapists. And we have Black men on our staff, which is really important.
Okay. Yeah, because I know as far as like mental health is a big thing right now, as far as it's a hot topic as far as in the Black community and everything. I know a lot of people, from my generation, I got a couple years on y'all too. I know from my generation, therapy was kind of like frowned upon. It was like, nah, you a man, you supposed to handle it, this, and this. But we're
Mhm.
seeing with that ideology, it's not good because what we're seeing is guys that are trying to live to that ideology and they're falling apart and they're doing more damage than good. They're hurting themselves, they're hurting their loved ones, and
Mhm.
it's not a good thing all over.
Right. Right. And the reality is we all need help. I think a lot of people think that by the time you get to the point that you're talking to a therapist, like you're weak or, you know what I mean? Or you don't have it all together. And it's like, well, shoot, I'm a therapist and some days I don't have it all together. So it's okay. I go and talk to people when I need to get help with stuff too. So, it's just, we need support. Sometimes you need support. You need somebody to kind of look at your situation from the outside and help you figure some things out, and it's nothing wrong with that. There's no weakness in that.
And I think you're right. And I think with as far as black men, I know speaking for myself, I was never comfortable sharing that information. I, I was comfortable. Like I guess I talk to my parents a lot about
Okay.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I was fortunate enough to have close friends that I felt good to confide in, but I never was really one to be out there, woe was me, and stuff like that. But now that I see that now that both my parents are gone, I'm like, that outlet is missing. So I'm like, wow, so it was a time that I did sit down and I personally talked to a therapist because it was my
Oh,
moods
good.
was affecting, not just my work, but it was affecting my relationship and,
Mhm.
friendships and stuff because I was bottling so much stuff in, but something would happen and it would just all blast out and
Right. Right.
it was just too stressful and stuff.
Yeah.
So, sat down, talked to somebody, and it was good. And it was good to have that person to have that ear, and they weren't telling me what I wanted to hear. They were just keeping it, exactly what it is and stuff like
Right.
that. Because sometimes when we confide in our friends and things like that, they're only going to say what they think we want to hear to calm us down for that moment. But
Right.
sometimes it's what you don't want to hear that you need to hear.
Right. And then when it comes from a stranger, it's like, well, wait, that person doesn't know me. So why would they, why are they going to tell me something that, something about me that's not true? They don't know me. They don't gain anything from telling me this. And, a lot, but the reality is a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. That's why they don't want to come to therapy because you don't want to have to deal with you. And we've all been there, right? Like,
Yeah, I
we
did
don't want to have
definitely.
to own up to our own stuff, but the reality is like we all got some stuff that we
Yeah.
need to change to deal with. Like everybody has room to grow. And so, therapy is just, it's just a place to come and just, sometimes you just need somebody to vent to.
Yeah.
I think that I think that people struggle with accepting the fact that they're human, or even accepting the fact that other people are human. Right? Like they make everything such a pre-calculated moment that they don't realize that it was emotional. It's you know what I'm saying? Like it's what people are
Right.
going through that day. Empathy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
and everybody has, or we were raised with this stigma of what therapy is and sitting down and talking to somebody and kind of fixing yourselves, and that's almost a generational curse to not heal. Okay.
Well, look, that's because it was like it was don't tell what's going on in this household. I
Mhm.
think a lot of times people think that like if you put your business out there, there's going to be consequences. I think that's like the biggest thing for people. It's like if I tell somebody this, what's the consequence going to be? But it's like a lot of the stuff that you tell, it's like, all right, that's a little crazy that you did that, but let's figure out why you did it so you don't do it again. But it's not like nobody's going to be monitoring you. Nobody's going to go tell your job that you're dealing with anxiety, like all of these fears that people have. It's like, no, me and you are going to sit with some stuff and we're going to figure this thing out together so that you don't do that again or so that you don't put yourself in that same situation. But, it's not often that we have to report something. Like that doesn't happen often.
Right. And you know what? The thing I would say to somebody about therapy is definitely needed because if you don't talk to somebody, you can lead yourself down a path of self destruction. Like
Yeah.
I found myself in some dark moments where, like Chantel, as long as you know me, I always, was a drinker and I could always handle my drinks. But then it got to a point that I was going through so much liquor and I was like, I'm not trying to be an alcoholic, but the alcohol was able to temporarily numb my feelings, whatever I wasn't trying to deal with head on and stuff like that.
Right.
And that was a scary moment, especially when you have that moment where you actually see yourself, like, your reflection and be like, yo, I don't even know who this cat is and shit,
Right.
doing all
Like, this is not even me. This I don't even, this is not me. I'm in a bad place.
And a lot of that dysfunction, for me, it was alcohol, but like people gotta understand sometimes it could be sex for some people. Some people could be mischievous because that's the way they pad down the hurt, but it's not fixing the hurt. It's just padding it down. Cause it was a lot of times that, I had, before I settled down, I had some meaningless situations like, I had no business fucking with her. I had no business fucking with her.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you know, you ain't got to put my business out there like that. But G knows.
No, I was just agreeing.
I was just agreeing with you, brother. Like that was all you.
But right. I didn't say nothing. Did I say something? I didn't say nothing.
But I mean, the coughing and the eye. Okay,
I have a cold, actually. It's just that was the first cough since I've been on here with y'all. But I do have a cold. Just right on time.
And he had some escapism. That's what they call that. That's what he had. Escapism. He had some escapism.
Okay. Some people binge watch TV. I binge watch the booty. So,
daddy, cat, daddy. I'm just saying.
But yeah, it's very important to have that outlet to talk to because you don't want to develop a vice and. Like I said, it could be in like everything that I read down your list. That could be some way some people try to escape through gambling, through, relations, through alcoholism, through, just anything. And it's a scary place when you no longer recognize yourself.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing. Because I think the one thing that rang for me, and I don't mind sharing this, I think it was like 2015. I thought I was in love. It was a long time friend, thought I was in love, but, for whatever reason, it didn't work out and I didn't like how it ended. Okay. And I had some really dark thoughts at that time. Like I was really seeing myself start to become that guy that I know I wasn't, like the guy that I just want to go fuck everybody up. I just want to go kick in their door and beat the shit out of everybody. And it took one day for me to look in the mirror and be like, yo, that's not you. Fuck's up. And luckily enough, I had a close friend by the name of Terrence who knew of the situation and he knew of both of us. And I was able to talk to him before I did something stupid.
Okay.
Because Chantel, I'm the king of doing something stupid, especially when it comes to something physical. Ain't nothing, because Chantel was telling me years ago, you too old to be out here fucking fighting and doing dumb shit. Yeah. But luckily enough, he was there for me. And now that I look back 6 years later, I'm like, it wasn't even worth effort. Like, what I was sweating it for? Like, I felt more embarrassed that I even allowed myself to get to that point. But like I said, luckily enough, I had somebody in my corner that was like, yo, this is not you. Think about what you're trying to do. This is not it. Just deal with the hurt and move on. And it was like I wasn't trying to deal with it, But like I said, we all good now. I've been with my current girls going on 4 years. Can you believe that?
4 years? That long?
Man.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's what we call growth right there. Look at that.
Listen, that is beautiful. You hear me?
And I still get on her goddamn nerves, but she still shows.
Oh, I already know. Already know. She's a strong individual. I know it. Because
I'm a piece of work.
A little bit.
All the way piece of work. The whole piece of work. Like, he's a piece of employment. That's what he is. Piece of employment.
Okay, G. Let me see how I shut his mic off here.
Don't shut it off yet. I got a question for Chantel. how do you deal with taking in all that energy, like all of that at the end of the day? How do you release all of that or stop all that from getting to you? Because that can be a lot. Like, what you do, you got a lot.
I drink. No, I'm just playing. I'm not even built. I'm not even built for that.
Vacations.
No, not even. You know what? I just started that. Like the taking time off thing it probably started maybe this summer. That wasn't even a thing where I would like take time off, but I started to realize like taking in so much energy. I was like, my anxiety started increasing. And I was like, I was going to my girlfriend and talking to my girlfriend, like, listen, I think I need something for anxiety because it was getting that bad. But I think I talk more. It's been helpful because at first it was just me here, and my mom, she works with me too. But like as far as in this field, it was just me at first, and now I have 2 interns that are here with me. So it's kind of like each day I'm able to have a conversation with them to kind of regroup and make sure I'm able to have a place to kind of vent about some of the things that might be a little bit more difficult to deal with here. It's like, they're learning, but I learn from them as well. So I think that helps actually having people around that are in this field that I can kind of like, this is what's going on, or this is how many clients I have, or this is the different situations that are going on with people. Because sometimes it's overwhelming because you want to help, but it's so many people that are hurting that you're like, I don't even know how I can make a difference in these people's lives because there's so much stuff going on with people. But, so I do that. Then I get my rest. I make sure, like, I love some sleep. So I will get my sleep.
That ain't changed.
I love me some sleep. I don't even work before 10 o'clock because I like to sleep in. You hear me? And then like I'll binge watch shows, it's certain shows that I like to watch. I'll binge watch shows and stuff like that. So I just try to find little things to keep me busy. But if I'm truly overwhelmed, like I don't have a problem if I have to cancel clients and things like that. Like I don't have a problem like kind of shutting down for myself and kind of regrouping because it is a lot of energy to take in. It's a whole lot of energy to take in on a regular basis. But I feel like it's not a job, it's a gift. And I think that's what kind of helps me deal with it, where it's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I think that's why it doesn't affect me as bad as I think it would be if it felt like a job.
Man. Yeah, because I know talking with Jarrell, I'm starting to appreciate time off and everything. Because, I was always trying to fill every hour with working and doing something. And, he kind of told me, he's like, yo, man, you might just need to just take a week and just get away, change the scenery. Like, you and your lady, I know tons of people. So for me to go out of town and hang with somebody I ain't seen in a while is nothing. So he's like, yeah, get a room for the weekend. Y'all hang out with some people and stuff like that. Everything ain't got to be a flight vacation. It could be just a slight getaway, a bed and breakfast or something, or, drive to another city or something,
Yeah. And I think being married to a therapist helps. Because,
right, your husband's a therapist, right?
Yeah, like he's a therapist too. So I think that helps because, when you're not in the same field and you have certain hangups and stuff like that, like the person can't relate because they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do what you do. But he understands what I do. So I think I think that's helpful too. I think that kind of helps out. Because a lot of stuff that would be stressful, I don't have to deal with at home because he knows that like I'm a therapist, but then I'm also building a business. So that having that support is good. And then I have, like you said, my parents, talking to my parents and stuff like that. And I got enough kids to vent to if I need to.
Now does your husband work with you?
So we tried that. And he is supportive of the business. Let me say that. He doesn't have the time. So he has his own businesses. He owns daycares and he has other ventures that he's doing for his own businesses that he has going on. So that doesn't, we don't have the same idea of how the work should be done. Like he's more like a freestyle and I'm more like a let's do it by the book. And
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Speaking of which, how many years you been married so far?
6 years.
Wow.
Yep, 6 years. I know, right? We doing this thing, aren't we, Tuck?
Yeah, and you got that adorable little boy that sung happy birthday to me but didn't know my name. He was like, whoever.
Yeah, happy birthday, whoever. Right?
But at least you got the song.
At least I got the song.
You got the song.
Yeah.
You know?
And listen, he was serious about singing that happy birthday song.
I see his face.
Yeah, that one there. I don't know how, like people that have like the grown kids and then you have the little one, or you wait until you're in your 40s to have kids. I don't know how they do it because I be napping on that baby. I'll be wore out. He's 5 and he.
Shoot, Jazier took all your energy.
No, listen, my other 2 kids have nothing on this one. This one here. Yeah, if he was first, I would have been like, he is an only child. Like, this is it. It's just gonna be you, baby. No, nobody else, and some dogs. Like that is it.
Jarrell.
Yes, sir.
Look, man. You know, when you and I have a lot of conversations, and you come off, explaining certain things, because honestly, I look to you for a lot of advice. As far as like, because I come from that era where, I'm an old guy. I shouldn't have to ask a young guy something like that, but you're very, very knowledgeable to me. And I appreciate that. But what I want to ask is, yo, man, do I be stressing you out, man?
No, if you stress me out, well, I manage my stress. Right?
We went from if you stress me out, then it was like I manage my stress.
Right, because if you stress me out, I wouldn't be the guy who's like, yo, what's up? What we got? Let's go. I've learned to put up gates and walls for those who I don't choose to deal with. People don't understand. Like I really try not to deal with people who I don't want to interact with for that purpose. Yeah. Like outside of like business, sometimes you have to, right? But recreationally, you get to pick and choose who you choose to give your energy. You know? Listen, it's real easy for somebody to get on the block or just not responseless, right? I don't have to like, I might not respond. You are non-responsive right now. I probably shouldn't say that. It's going to piss people off because they know sometimes you just don't respond. Yeah, I want your energy. So, in Tuck, I always respond to you. Okay? Only time I don't respond to you is if I'm busy and you send me like a meme. Okay? And I'll be like, I'll laugh later. Listen, but it's like real stuff.
Oh, yeah, I will send you some bullshit. But yeah, whenever I need you, you always got back to me. But like I said, I send them memes and stuff like that, and you might hit me up a day later or something, be like, yo, that shit was funny. I was into something else. And I understand that.
He really like, you got too much free time on your hands. Like every minute of my day is something. And here you are finding memes to send to me.
No,
that's because I be multitasking.
He work for himself now. No, don't do that. Because you work for yourself now. Okay? Like, you elevated, okay? And those are the perks that come with. You said you sleep till 10, Chantel. I respect both of those dreams.
Yes.
Okay? Right now, somebody else paid me. I don't have that luxury.
You got to get on this other side. Come on to this side. It's a beautiful thing.
He'll get there soon enough because honestly, I think I should have been on this side, but what it took was losing both my parents almost back to back, and the company that I had 20 some odd years for was more concerned with the lack of empathy I was showing their yelling and screaming customers than what I was going through. Like you guys know me for 20 years. You're not showing me any empathy of losing both of my parents. And I was fortunate enough, to have a household where both of my parents was in the household. I didn't have dad over here or mom over here. They were both together. So, and that was the first major loss in my immediate family. I have, it was mom, dad, and the 5 kids. And to lose them, it kind of fucked with me, but I still went to work and was still doing the things, but things were suffering. So instead of somebody pulling me to the side and saying, "Look, man, have you thought about talking to somebody or,
Right. Or do you
taking
need some
some
time
extra
off?
time off?" They were like,
Exactly.
"Well, we're not liking your metrics and you were kind of short with this customer here, this and
Yeah.
that. So we might have to put you on a verbal or something." And I'm like, really? After all
Yeah.
these years, this is how you coming at me? Like, no one really offered me to speak to somebody. Like it took another employee to offer that. It wasn't the team leader. It wasn't any other supervisor. It wasn't a manager. It wasn't a director. It was a coworker that sensed that, I was
You
going
needed
through
some
something.
support. Yeah.
And then, I always had a habit of selling my talent short. Like I always thought that I wasn't knowledgeable enough to do what I've been doing for a decade
All
and
these years.
change and shit. So when it got to the point that I left that corporate environment and started doing my thing on my own, I realized that I was really, really skilled. Like, I know some shit.
I can do this. Yeah.
And Jarrell was definitely instrumental in getting that through my head because he'll tell you, I'll sit here and be like, I don't know about this. And he's like, bro, you're already doing it. And he would break it down, and I'm like, oh, wow. So I could really put that on the resume. He's like, brother, yes, you can.
Right.
You're doing it. You have a whole plethora of work that's out there that you could say, well, this is what I do. And I'm just thinking, well, it was just stuff that I was doing because I enjoyed doing it. He was like, well, shit, get paid for what you enjoy. Like,
yeah.
Do I have to sign you up for this class? So yeah, so that helped. And a lot of it, was fear at first. But then
always. Yeah.
But then once I got into this, everything I was afraid of, I was able to conquer just by doing the legwork. Like I was like, well, I'm older now, so I need medical benefits, and I hear all these horror stories about benefits.
That's definitely a thing. Yeah, the medical benefits, that's a struggle.
So I found one that was, sort of that I could deal with, and then it just really looked like I had to break down the numbers. It's like, look, me and my lady, we go out a lot and stuff. So that means, instead of going out 4 nights a week, I might have to go out 2 nights and, I might have to pick up another task to help cover this, but it's not hard. It's just, I just had to learn how to manage both my time and finances better because the next paycheck depends on me. It's just not me showing up to some job and clocking in. It depends on me, doing well for the clients I currently have and, vetting new clients and, offering any service that I think the client needs. Like I look at myself as a problem solver. Like when I talk, like the clients I work for, I solve problems they have, whether it's website,
but that's what you were doing.
Whether it's analytical or things like that.
You were doing that. You were doing it too. Yeah, for 20 years, that's what you were doing. So same kind of idea.
Well, just doing it for yourself. And it's like, okay,
just doing it for yourself. But I think the difference is I think what people fail to realize is when you don't have someone mistreating you, right? Because a lot of these companies that we work for, we get paid good, but you're so mistreated that like mentally, you're so foggy, you can't even focus on what needs to be done. So when you finally break out into your own, it's like, I feel free in a sense. So if there is an issue, something does come up, like I'm not so exhausted that I can't figure this out because I treat me well. I have time to treat me well and I get to pick and choose who I deal with.
Right.
And that, that makes all the difference because I'm telling, like, it is, you be darn near on your deathbed working for these companies. Right. Like they will use you until there is nothing left to use. And then when you ask for help, it's like, oh, well, what's the problem? I don't understand what you're going through. Like, it's like, you've been beating me down from day one. Well, not day one, because you treat me good for the first 90 days. And then after that, it's like, I'm making you guys millions. and you just treat me like if I walk out tomorrow, you'll replace me the next day, like I've done nothing.
And that's the sad truth. If you have to go out on medical leave, or if something happens and you're no longer able to work, you'll get a get well soon card, but they already got your seat filled.
Right.
Next person.
Right. And I understand it's a business, but at the same time, you don't have to treat me as if I'm expendable. Like, you don't have to treat me that way, even though we both know that if I leave, you have to replace me. Like, I get that part. But darn, when I'm here, at least treat me like you want me to be here.
Right.
And that,
And you're right, because that was my thing.
That I was thinking about with everything that Tuck said, everything he took for him to leave. And it's something that you mentioned earlier in this conversation. You said, Chantel, we take too long to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't listening to everything he went through. It took this to happen, had to happen. You know what I'm saying? All these losses had to be taken, personally and professionally, just to be like, all right, you know what? This ain't the place for me, right? And I say all that because I wanted to ask you, why do you think that we wait so long? Why? When there's options available, we will stay in that situation too long. Why do you think we do it?
I think we have this false sense of security. You know what I mean? Like, we really feel like there's security with these jobs, but it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not. We feel like, there's a comfort in having a title, right? Because a lot of times we work for these titles, like having a title. And it's like, I worked for that title. I can't just give that up. I've been at this place this long. I can't just leave. Same thing, like my medical benefits. Like, you think of all this stuff that feels like security, but all it takes is for somebody not to like you to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Like, your boss could wake up one day and be like, I don't need that person no more. And then you 10, 15, 20 years it means nothing. You know what I mean? So we have this sense of like, we know they don't care, but for some reason we think they care. I don't even understand it. I mean, it has to be generational. Like, it has to be so deep rooted that we can't even explain where it comes from, because there's no logical sense in the fact that someone mistreats you on a daily basis and you feel like you have to stay.
You're right.
It doesn't make sense.
You're right, because I know for me, it was the false sense of financial stability. When I really thought about it, it's like, there's no financial stability when I work for somebody else. Because like you said, they can wake up and be like, you know what, we no longer need you. Or as we've seen happen to other companies before, we can get the same kind of help cheaper by sending your jobs elsewhere,
overseas, or the building shut down, right? Like all of a sudden they close your department is closed. They no longer need you for your department, or you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and now now you got a whole
king of that.
Listen, you know what I mean? And depending on how petty people are, right now all of a sudden I'm under a microscope because I said something you didn't like,
right?
Or you know what I mean? Or there's something about me that you don't like, so now you're targeting me, and it's like, and I don't have to listen. It's me here. Like, if I don't like me today, then the only person I got to deal with today is me. Like, I don't know.
And I hope the people that check this episode out, I hope you realize that the threat at one time was overseas, but now the threat is automation. They're trying to automate everything. Like, anytime you walk into McDonald's and you can order from a damn kiosk, like, they're trying to get rid of the working class. It's crazy. It's like, soon everything you do will be automated. I mean, because I don't know about y'all, but I hate calling certain companies and having to go through so many different prompts only to speak to somebody that there's a slight language barrier. And like, by then it's like, nah, I can care less about the missing $20 now.
I forgot what I called for at this point.
I'd have been on the phone 4 hours. And everybody got those commercials about their company, like the customer service is first and everything. But being somebody that worked in customer service, I could tell you that customer service is not first on many of these companies' lists. It's just
It's money.
cost of doing business.
It's money.
Mm-hmm. And after leaving a job in customer service and having to get, some therapy and everything, that should be a part of their package straight up. Like that should be something that they push. Like they push their 401k. They should push that heavy. I mean, the company I work for, they do. Yeah. A lot of people, like their leadership doesn't push it because you would think part of your leadership is you're responsible for these 20 or 30 so individuals. Mm-hmm. If you see that somebody's personality is changing, you should be aware think that they're trying to get out of doing the work. But nobody wakes up and be like, yo, I'm going to try to find a new way to bullshit out my job today. Nobody does that. You should really be looking to see like what's going on, what's the root problem, and offering them.
Well, you have to care. You have to care enough, though. That's the thing. Like you have to care about people.
See Jarrell's face.
You know what I mean? And the reality is, a lot of these people that are supervising could care less about people. They care more about their position than they do people. So if me trying to help you brings a negative light on me, and then I have to explain some stuff. Oh, I'm not doing that. That's too much work. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Okay, and it's a shame. You got a story.
Mm-hmm. No, anytime he propped to the side.
Yeah, he like, hold up. Like, yes.
No. I just got a theory. My theory is that so those same supervisors, typically their job and in their space is the same bullshit that it is for whoever is in the subordinate role, right? And what happens is everybody's trying to convince themselves that they're not settling for some bullshit. Okay, so that supervisor, while that supervisor knows that you're settling for some bullshit, right? They don't want to accept that they're settling for it. So because of that, they don't want to identify that sitting in that seat, you really might need to get some help because it's hard to do that job without getting help, right? But if I say that, then I'm acknowledging that this is bullshit.
Right. And then that might come back on me.
So what I'm gonna do instead is offer you a pizza party, right? And tell you.
You're doing good if you get a pizza party. Some they ain't even offering that much. Shoot. You might get a pen with a logo on it.
This fool said pizza party, and I know where he's going with that. But you know what? We're gonna let certain things be great because at my former employment, they celebrated anything with pizza and food. Yeah, they fed you. I mean, hell.
I like food, so they might get me that way. I'll be like, oh,
nah. It's good the first time around, but when you start seeing these numbers, like they'll tell you, be like, oh, we grown, we made such millions, this and that, and then offering you a slice of pepperoni pizza that's like lukewarm, and you can't get up from your seat to the microwave to heat it up. Nah.
Listen, I stayed there 13 years with that cold pizza. I'm gonna tell you, you lying. You eat the pizza, and you sit in the chair, and you stay there, and then you realize, well, damn, why I stay so long?
Mm-hmm.
I was hungry. I was a little bit. It was right on time with this place.
I ain't got to spend my lunch money.
Right, exactly.
Settling for some bullshit.
But Chantel, let me ask you, what would be your advice to somebody that wants to seek out therapy, but they're having issues about it? Like they're just kind of reluctant. Like they're concerned about what people may think about them going to therapy.
You know what? I think a lot of times people have to realize that it's life or death for you, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes we get to a point that we're struggling so bad that it is life or death for you. So who cares what other people think? That's the first thing. If I got to say it, then that's what I'm going to do. And you have to get to that point where I know something's not right. I know that I'm not okay. I know that the supports around me are not enough. And it's like, when you get to that point, you have to save yourself. Mm-hmm. So, I think like a lot of people are reluctant to ask questions. Ask questions. A lot of times, like everybody that I'm in contact with, I don't necessarily take on as a client. Like, with social media and stuff like that, all these people that you see that have therapist tags and this and that, ask a question. So if you got to go in somebody's inbox and be like, like, I'm struggling with this, where do I start? Ask the question. If I'm putting up that I'm a therapist, I should have no problem in helping you get the resources that you need to get, whether they're with me or somebody else. And I think that, like, that's the beginning. If you don't know something, then you research it, you ask questions, you go online. There's too much information out here for us not to be able to just ask Siri or to Google it or to call a hotline or, whatever the case may be. But whatever it is, you can't continue to keep sitting in that darkness. Like, that's not okay. So you just gotta take that first step. And, I think the process sometimes for people is a lot, especially now with COVID. That's why I have so many people that work with me, because it was so many calls coming in. And I'm like, it got to the point my mom was like, you could just take one more. You could take one more. And it was like, well, listen, we 20 people, one more later. Like, wait a minute. Like, I got to bring more people in. So, the process is a little frustrating because sometimes you might have to wait a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But if you've been suffering for 10, 15, 20 years, you could wait 2 weeks. I mean, if it's life or death and you need to get to a hospital or, it's that bad, then do that. But if you're like, okay, I've been maintaining, I'm not in a good place, but, I need this help, and you can wait 2 weeks or a month, then do that. And then the other thing is finding a good fit. Every person that you're paired with at first might not be the fit for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're somebody that likes to curse and this, that, whatever, and you go get paired with somebody that is very religious and feels like that's disrespectful, well, that might not be the person for you. You might need to find somebody that doesn't mind, letting you be yourself in a session. Some people are not comfortable with, people being themselves and stuff like that. You have to know who you're getting paired with. And I think that makes a big difference. A lot of people, once they're paired with somebody, it's like therapy doesn't work because that person didn't work. No, that wasn't the right pairing for you. You need to you might have to try a couple different people. And I know that's frustrating, but if you find a person that can help you change it and switch it all around, then shoot, you gotta make a little sacrifice.
And I hope people understand that social media is not therapy. Writing your feelings out on your wall, you're entertaining the wrong crowd, and some of the comments and stuff you're going to send you in the downhill spiral. That's why I
inbox people. There's times that I take a break from social media because sometimes I'll see stuff that people post. I don't even know these people. And I will inbox them like, listen, I understand that you need a place to vent, but I really think that you should get professional help, because I'm like, it's so many predatory people on social media. And, it's bad enough you have family and friends that don't want to see you win. And you think that these strangers are going to care? Like, some do. But you got to be so careful what you put online and stuff like that. Like that bothers me sometimes. Like, I find myself, I'm like, these people probably think I'm crazy. I'm in their inbox. They're like, who the hell is this woman in my inbox telling me to go seek therapy? But it's like, I just want you to be safe.
Especially when it comes to relationships. Like, man, some people go in and I'm like, yo, y'all can go to count. If you really want to try to salvage what you and this other person have, then trying to go into counseling together may help. Maybe that salvage you need, but putting something on your wall, this and that, and then reposting these memes and stuff, like, honestly, we see the hurt. We see the hurt. We see the hurt. And
you ain't fooling nobody.
That hurt you're putting out there, it's just entertaining the wrong people. Like you said, predatory. There's some people that will just follow you because they know you full of drama and you're their entertainment until Love and Hip Hop come on.
Well, or it's some people that want your mate. So it's like, as long as I can keep watching you and I can kind of see where you are, I can see how I can slide my way up in there. They having problems right now. Let me slide up in there. Let me be a little extra nice. And you listen, you don't know who's following you. All these friends. I think I got 4,000 friends. 4,000 who? I don't know these people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who they are. So you have to be careful. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people, they open up to the wrong individuals just to get their stuff put out there. But they have to understand that when you go to a licensed therapist, your shit is protected.
Yeah.
Your therapist can't go out and say, "Oh, I talked to Tucker today and he told me this about Erica, this, and this." That's a law they're breaking. And that's like some sort of, I know the doctors got the medical oath, but I know you guys have something similar.
Yeah, there's ethics. Confidentiality. Yeah. My thing is, if anything, if there's ever a situation where we're discussing our clients, it's like we're working with someone else in our field to be like, I need to make sure I'm giving them the best advice. Like, I need to make sure I'm taking the right path. It's not to be hurtful. It's just like, to get supervision or something like that. But outside of that, it's like, no, this is not a game. It's not like I'm gonna go home and have this conversation with my family about, what's going on in my clients' lives and stuff like that. Like, no, that's not.
It's like people ain't watched The Sopranos. You didn't watch how Dr. Melfi had her, as she was going to talk to somebody about shit that was going on with Tony. Because she did that whole, like, am I doing this shit right? I'm sorry, I'm a Sopranos fan. I'm sorry.
It's been a while. I'm surprised they ain't try to reboot it like everything else.
Oh, they have. They got the prequel. Tony. Yeah, they got the prequel. Yeah, but they can't bring it back because he's gone. James died a few years back, but yeah, like it's mental health in the Black community is fucking important, and people need to stop brushing it to the side. Like, it's not for me. And I know us men need to get off these high horses and put our egos aside. Like, nigga, you hurting, I'm hurting too. We gotta talk to somebody about it. The street therapist can't help us. The liquor store can't help us. All them women we run through can't help us. You just continue on a downhill spiral. And unfortunately, sometimes people bottom out and they hurt themselves or they hurt others. And we trying to avoid that. All this can be avoided by you just keeping it 100 with yourself and talking about your feelings with a licensed therapist, not one of these life coaches that's on, social media showing her behind with 30,000 people talking about, I could be your
life coaches can make a difference too. Don't act like that.
Nah. Not when they're your life coach, the realtor. I sell you some hair and stuff like that. No. They got like 40 different hustles, and you don't really see them working. You just see them twerking.
It's definitely different.
I didn't mean to rhyme that one.
It's definitely different. But yeah, I mean, it's when black men call in. Now it's funny because I most of the time I'm not taking on new clients, especially now because I have other therapists. So I try to get into them. But when the Black men call in, I'm like, oh, we got to figure this out. Like, because I know it took you a lot to call in here. So it's like, you know what? If I got to take one more, let me see what I could work out. But it's a lot of times, like, people think like therapy's forever. Like, it's not. It doesn't have to be a forever thing. Like, it might just be, 3 to 5 sessions where you're just like, I just need some guidance. Like, a lot of times we know what to do. It's just for some reason we don't do it. You know what I mean? It's like, I for years I knew I should have did this. Okay, well, listen. All right, now you coming to me and I'm telling you do it. Like, let's go ahead, let's get it done. And let's see what happens. But we got to take that step, and we have to start the healing process, because a lot of us are dealing with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It's not, a lot of times they talk about childhood and this and that, but like childhood, relationships, jobs, the kids, just, trying to do the right thing. A lot of us are trying to do the right thing and everything goes wrong, and that kind of, like, it's just like life is just beating you up. Sometimes you just need a place to be like, I just need to lay this all here with you so that I could walk out the door and go try to conquer the world again tomorrow. You know, like,
and real rap,
sometimes you need that.
COVID fucked a lot of people's worlds up. And
Oh yeah, you had to sit with some stuff. You had to sit with some stuff with COVID.
Like it went from one scale to the other. It went from people that you thought was happily married and stuff like that. Now we together 24/7. Then you got the ones that thought they was cool being by themselves and stuff because they can hit and miss. Now you by yourself.
You know? Like, wait a minute,
man. You know, shoot, I'm tired of this damn dog and shit. Why are you breathing so hard and shit? You know, you start tripping on little shit. You know, so for those that was able to make it out of that, man, shoot. But I know it was definitely hard because I seen some of my friends break down and be like, "Oh, I don't really like this motherfucker."
Yeah.
Y'all been together like 10, 15
Some of us don't even like ourselves. Some of us, you had to sit home and work from home and be, it's like, I don't even like this house I'm in. Like, I got to be here all day. Like, you saying I got to wake up, I got to go to work, I got to leave from work, then I go into another room. Like, I don't even want to be here. Like, what? I like being in a different building. You know what I mean?
Happy when Amazon knock on the door. You be like, hurry up and get to the door and stuff. Oh, yeah, what's going on? Yeah,
you know,
man.
so yes, it's COVID helped some people realize some things that needed. I mean, and this was people that have been in situations for 20, 30 years, all of a sudden realizing, like, this is not the life I want for myself. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it opened some eyes.
But yeah, Chantel, I can't thank you enough for taking time on this Thursday night to talk to me and Jarrell's crazy ass and everything. But real quick, tell people how they could find you. I know you said you not accepting new patients, but you have a whole staff that there may be some openings and everything like that. So I know for the people that can see the video, you see we had the little ticker at the bottom that has your information on there. But for the people that are going to be on the audio portion, they may want to know how to reach out to you and stuff like that. So can you let them know?
Sure. So our website is www.shapingmindstherapy.com. We are also on Facebook. Our page is Shaping Minds Therapy. Our office number is 302-731-1022. And you can always give us a call. Like I said, if we don't have openings or we can't help you in the moment, then we'll try to get you the resources you need to get you to someone that does have openings. Or if you just have questions, you know, you can always go on the website and just type in a question and it comes to my email directly. I'll respond to it to kind of lead you in the right direction. But you know, if you need therapy, the first place to start, you have insurance, call the customer service number on the back and ask about services in your area. You can go online, Google it, go on to some of the therapy groups and things like that on social media. But if you feel like you need help, if you ever had a thought about needing help, just start asking questions. You know, just ask.
And don't be surprised if she pop up in your inbox because you posted something on your wall that was a little bit.
I was like, please don't do
ask questions, but don't ask Facebook. Like, don't ask the world. Ask directly.
Well, yeah, you know, my thing is if you needed IT help, you're not going to go to the cashier at the grocery store to ask questions. Like, you need to go to the professional that can get you in the right direction. So if you're going to ask questions on social media, direct it to the right place. That's all. Make it make sense.
And trust that little bit of hype of seeing your numbers go up or whenever you go live, the event and stuff like that. That's not positive. That's just motherfuckers that find you entertaining, find your misery entertaining. Because we know we have some people that do that. Like something might happen and they be like, oh, I'm going on live to talk about this. That's the wrong people to talk to because all you're doing is entertaining people that don't give two flies smashed about you.
Right.
You need to like do like Chantel said, find those resources and talk to a licensed professional that can help you get past that.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I'll look at you live and I might even throw it on the big screen TV and get some popcorn and be like, I'm just here for the comments. You know what I mean?
Or you got to be strong enough to deal with what comes with it. You know, if you want to put it all out there, then you don't do it when you're emotionally broken,
right?
Because that could completely break you. So if you're strong enough to deal with whatever comes with putting your business out there, that's one thing. But most of us, when we're to that point that we're posting and stuff like that, we're at a weaker point. So that's not the time to be taking in, like you said, energy, right? Not the time to be taking in all that other energy on top of whatever you're dealing with.
And don't be afraid to get therapy for the young ones in your life. If you see, your kids is going through something and, the old school way of parenting and just grin and deal with it, we can't deal with that anymore. You may have to, sit with your kid, and your kid may need somebody to vent to, because unfortunately, a lot of these kids they're all digital. They don't have the in-face friends and people they can talk to. So don't be afraid to get your kids some therapy. Save them now, because it's easier. What they say, it's easier to fix a broken kid than a broken adult. And everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's therapy out here for almost pretty much everything, whether you have a drinking problem, substance abuse, sexual, your orientation, your relationship, it's something out here for everything.
There's somebody out here trained. Trust me, no matter what the issue is, somebody's trained to be able to help you with it. You just gotta trust it.
Hell, even if you're not liking yourself because you like, I can't get rid of this weight, or I can't gain this weight, you can talk to people that can get you into good circles that can help you with that.
Right.
But you're not going to get the help entertaining Facebook, or what they call it, Meta now. Call it Meta.
Oh, I can't.
Meta something.
I can't keep up. That's how I know I'm getting like to that 40 threshold, because it's like I can't keep up. It's too much. There's too many changes.
The only reason I keep up is because this is what I do.
Oh.
So as we do with every show, we try to come up with a word, and Jarrell, being the spoken word poet he is, usually takes us on a off the dome poem type thing. So Jarrell,
what you got?
Chantel, would you like to give him a word that he can do his freestyle poem, so we can go ahead and close this episode out?
Let's go with wellness.
Wellness. All right. Good day, good people. Once again, I'm G Jones. Thank you to Chantel Latasha for being on the BOREDinDE podcast, representing Shaping Minds. By the way, go get your heel on. Check it out. My book is in stores day by day, volume 1 to Willing. So there's that, DEXDE.net. All right. Now, and the word I was given today is wellness, which is only fitting based on the conversation we were having. So with regards to that, I'm thinking people don't realize what it takes to fix themselves, or they don't want to recognize the work that's going to take to heal themselves because they're too afraid of that same judgment to be well. I get it. I can tell. They hope that we can't when they post their rant and they say what they've been through and they talk about what they're going through and they tell it to everybody as if everybody cares when everybody won't go. And truthfully, to help them, everybody can't. See, people search for wellness and they search to help themselves, but they don't realize that they only come off helpless when they don't actually take the time to put the work in. When they know that their mental health is the subject that they keep on skirting, and they know that they're afraid of whatever judgment can come in from them speaking everything that's within. So instead they suppress it. And they don't realize that instead of helping their wellness, they're hurting themselves, and they don't realize that everything that they're doing, sometimes it's hurtful to be selfish. Because they don't realize that they're only going to take the time out because they don't want everybody to point a finger at them, and they don't want to point a finger at the mirror. So instead, they will rather move in that fear. I get it. You don't want to shape your own mind. You don't want to understand what it takes. So you wait, and you'll waste your own time, because we tend to take too much time to make that move that we need to make. When I say we and I say us, yes, I can speak to the melanin in my skin, because I know that that's a generational issue that can come from within. So all we're asking is, when it comes to wellness, seek some help. And don't be afraid to ask specifically someone who is certified. Where do I begin? Once again, it's your boy G-Jones. Shouts out to Chantel Latasha. We appreciate you for being with us. Shaping Minds, BOREDinDE. Take us away.
Oh, man. This has been a great episode. I hope you get something out of it, everybody. And as always, when we put this up, we'll have all their links to contact Chantel and her team and everything. And like she said, she's an open book on her. You go to her website, you can ask a question. If she can't help you, she could definitely guide you into the directions to get the help. And until next time, this is Tuck, Jarrell, and this is BOREDinDE. As always, be sure to check out the site, www.boredinde.com. Social media is BOREDinDE. And until next time, peace.
Thank you, guys.
The BOREDinDE podcast is brought to you by Lindsay Epps Media, LLC.